Hi there, I'm Paddy Byrne. At the tail end of last year, I had a need to transcribe some audio files and save them as text files. This was a great opportunity to learn about Power Automate and how I can make it interact with the Azure Cognitive Services Batch Transcription API. This 4-video series documents how to do that, but it also gives you an insight into the learning process I followed in order to do that. If you want the flow that I created, then feel free to go to my website www.freefall365.com and download that and amend it as you please. You don't need to watch the videos. This first video will give you an insight into how I found out the prerequisites that I needed in order to use the Cognitive Services API. But the other 3 videos are also available. The second part will show you how I create the transcription request. The third part will go into how I got the transcription request and how I checked the status and how I looked at the results of the transcription request. And the last one will go into how I saved the results of that transcription request to a text file. As this is part 1, we'll go over how I decided which service to use, what steps I followed in the Microsoft documentation to get a Cognitive Services subscription key, how I got my audio file into Azure Blob, and how I got the URL of that file, and where I found the correct REST API endpoint, and an example of the request that I should be sending to it. Here we go.
I started at this page here, the Cognitive Services Speech Service Overview. My key takeaway from this is that I'll be using the batch transcription service as opposed to the speech to text service. Reason for that being that the batch transcription service is for larger volumes of data, whereas the speech to text service transcribes in real time and it's for audio that's around kind of 15 to 60 seconds in duration. So then I click to find out more about the batch transcription feature. Although it doesn't explicitly say, these bullet points here are essentially the steps that you need to do to transcribe your audio files. So I took note of them, and those are the steps that I designed my flow around. Some more key information to get us started is that the API offers asynchronous speech-to-text transcription. The detailed API is available in a Swagger document. We need a subscription key, and we can get one from the Get Started guide. We've got the supported formats, and also that the batch transcription supports Azure Blob storage for reading the audio and writing transcriptions to storage. So we need to store our audio files in Azure Blob. Before I start building my flow in Power Automate, I like to make sure that I've got everything I need. And the first thing I need is a subscription key, and to get that I need to follow the Get Started guide. I follow the steps under try the new speech service using a new Azure account, and then create a speech resource in Azure. So I followed these steps and got to this screen here. And that key is the subscription key that I need, so I took note of that. The next thing I needed was my audio file in the correct format in Azure Blob storage. Now I already had some Azure Blob storage set up, and I used the Microsoft Azure Storage Explorer to upload my file in .wav format. Now it's worth copying the command to clipboard here, because from that command we can extract the full URL and information that we need so that we can access our audio file from our flow. The next thing I needed, as someone who's new to Cognitive Services, was the REST API endpoint and an example of the body I need to put in the request. And this is something that perplexed me a bit. I continually tried to use the endpoint provided when we set up the resource, but I couldn't get that to work. Then I found this article on Stack Overflow. It explains that the documentation for the API is exposed on Swagger. Now I've never used Swagger before. If you click on one of these links, it takes you to a list of all the various different API calls that you can make. And if we go back to Stack Overflow, it says that we must use the correct region and that the path is /API/speech-to-text version 2.0/transcriptions. Our region from our endpoint is the one specified in the resource, so that's UK South. So let's go back to this Swagger documentation here, change West Europe to UK South. If we scroll down the page, this custom speech transcriptions here, that's the bit you're interested in. And this lists examples of each of the different calls you can make to the API, with examples of the body.
That's all for part 1. I hope it encourages to go out and play about with Power Automate and cognitive services. As I said at the start, if you want to just skip and download the flow and use it for yourself, it can be done from my website. The link will be in the description, or you can stick with me and look at part 2, where I'll go over creating a transcription request. Till next time, blue skies.